Now, I would like to here explain you what are the three important benefits of trading in derivatives. What is the benefit? What benefit do I have by trading in derivatives? Now, the first benefit is leverage. What do I mean by leverage? As you all know that you don't pay the entire amount. You don't actually pay the entire amount. If I have to buy 3,000 shares of SBI, I need 5,40,000 rupees in cash. Whereas if I am buying a lot, how much money is required? Basically it's about 20 to 50%. Usually it won't be 40 to 50%. It will be 20 to 30, 35%. The reason is based on the volatility. Based on this volatility, the margin tends to increase only to secure the investors. It's only to protect the investor, no other reason. Now, the money required is very less. The initial margin, it only cost, 20 to 50%. Now, whereas if I have to buy the entire lot, it will cost me almost 5,40,000 rupees to buy 3,000 shares. Now, here first, it's not going to cost me 5,40,000. Instead of that, it's going to cost me about 1,95,000 rupees. This is just based on I just checked from the trading counter today. Whatever is the applicable margin, we're going to hair split the margin also. There are different parts of the margin. We're going to understand that also. Today, it will actually cost about 1,95,000 rupees. As I'm talking, as I'm recording this video, on that day, the margins were 1,95,000 rupees. There is something called an MIS order, which is actually an intraday order. It will automatically gets closed at 3:25 p.m. exactly every day. It gets squared off at 3:25 by the broker. Whatever might be the price, it will get squared off at that price. So for that, if you want to trade, it will only cost 55,000 rupees. Now, do you realize that a contract which is worth about 5,40,000 rupees, you can get exposed to the same contract at merely about 55 or 60,000 rupees? The day I'm recording, the MI's value is about 55,000 rupees. But at 10%, this I would put it as about 10 to 15% margin, you'll be able to trade intraday in derivatives. So the first benefit of trading in derivatives is actually leverage, more exposure for the same money. Now, how does it work? Now, how does this settlement works? Now, let's look at the P&L of the derivatives. Yeah, example, as we're talking about, 5th October, I'm just looking to look into this. The futures price, as we already shared with you, it's currently about 181 rupees 40 paise. The spot price will be moving. Based on the spot price, even the futures price will be moving. Now, when I understand, what do I understand? 29th of October is the expiry. That's the last day where whatever is the spot price, it will be settled at that price. Now, in between, let us look at what happens today. The spot price is 181.40. Now, what happens, at the end, what happens? Let's see. Suppose if even at the end of the contract on 29, it closes at 181 rupees 40 paise. You end up with no profit, no loss. There is no obligation. Whatever margin you have paid, definitely you would have paid margin. Yeah, whether 1,95,000 rupees in the current day's price, whatever is the margin, your margin is intact. You have no profit or no loss, no gain, no loss. What happens if it closes below? It closes to 174 rupees 60 paise. So you minus 181.40 with 174.60 paise, which is 4 rupees 80 paise. Now remember, I have to multiply this with the lot size of 3,000. Then my loss is 14,400 rupees. This is just giving you a scenario on on that day, on particular day when the contracts are closing. If the closing price is 176.60 paise, I end up with a loss of 14,600 rupees. Similarly, I'll give you another example. What instead of 181.40, the stock manages to close at 189.20 paise. Now again, I do the same maths. I have a net gain of 7 rupees 80 paise in profit. Now the 7 rupees 80 paise multiplied by the lot size, I actually end up with 23,400 rupees as my profit. So this is how the leverage works. Even when I'm losing, yeah, there is an increase. There is an increase in the value because of the lot size. Even when there is profits, obviously it is multiplied by the lot size. This is how exactly the P&L will affect. Now, also in the meantime, is it only at the end of the cycle? No, every day at the end, whatever is the closing price, based on which every day your account is settled. There is a mark to mark daily settlement. When the moment you have taken every day, let's look at a particular day. The price is about 188.90 paise. The particular day, the 188.90 paise. So 7 rupees 50 paise is what you have gained in your trading account, broker's trading account. In your account, there is a credit of 22,500 rupees. There will be a credit to that extent. If there are losses, there will be a debit. Your margin would have come down. Yeah, your margin would have come down. And then when it reaches a particular level where it is sufficient as a margin, then there will be a margin call from your broker, and then you will have to replenish. If the margins are not replenished on time, the brokers will be actually selling it. There is a particular time slots in a day where earlier in the morning cycle or in the evening cycle, there will be squaring off your position and your accounts will be settled. Now, that is, yeah, this sounds a little cruel, but it is necessary as risk management. Now let us try and understand. Let us try and understand what exactly happens here. If I'm a trader, there are three types of margin which I need to fulfill. The first is actually the span margin, which is the basic margin. It constitutes to about 10 to 15%. If it is index, it's about 7 to 12%. If it's a stock, it's about 10 to 15% will be the foundation. It's a span margin. Then there is something called an exposure margin. This exposure margin will also count for the volatility. Whatever is the volatility of the stock will have, it will have an impact. Added to that, it might add about another 8, 10, 20%. So that is where it becomes about 20 to 30% becomes the margin. Of course, whenever there is a shortfall, whenever there is a negative balance, you have to replenish the to market margin. Now, these are the three basic margins: span margin, exposure margin, and again margin which you need to maintain with your broker as long as the contract is in existence. Now, whether I'm a buyer or a seller, I need to pay the margin. Now, here for our understanding, let's try and understand. Both of us put about 2,20,000 each to get into this contract, and then the profit and loss is settled used this margin money. Based on this, using this margin money, my profit P&L is settled on a daily basis until the expiry of the contract. I terminate the contract. I can actually buy from the market and terminate the contract, actually close the contract. Now, here we are trying to understand what is the value at risk. All securities are classified into three groups for the purpose of value at risk margin, VAR margin. It's also called as VR margin, or which I was talking about, the exposure margin. For securities listed in, basically there are group 1, group 2. You have understood, some of the stocks are classified under group 1, some of the stocks are classified under group 2 or group 3, based on the market capitalization, based on various things. They're classified there on the volatility. So for securities listed in group 1, script wise daily volatility is calculated using the exponential weighted moving average methodology, and it is applied to daily returns. The script wise, if the VAR is 3.5 times the volatility, yeah, if the VAR is 3.5 times the volatility, so calculated subject to maximum 7.5% would be the margin requirement. Now, for securities listed in group 2, if the VR margin is higher of the script, it's higher of a 3.5, then it is 3 times the index of VR margin, that is scaled up to root of 3. So it will be 3 times that. It will be 3 times that. For securities listed in group 3, the VR margin is equivalent to 5 times the index, or it is scaled up to by root of 3. So the index value of risk for the purpose is higher of daily index VAR based on CNX Nifty or Sensex, subject to maximum of 5%. Now, this data is available with you. You can actually go in depth. You can understand this in depth. Now, this definition is available with you. This is more for an understanding purpose. This is more, how actually when your broker is demanding a margin from you, you understand where it is actually derived from. Okay. Now, what is the second benefit of trading in derivatives? Here, I would like to tell you the first benefit is leverage. The second benefit is shorting, which is a shortcoming in equity trading. Yeah. Unless I possess substantial quantity of shares in my demat account, I will not be permitted to carry my short position. Whatever short position I have, if it is not, the shares are not available in the market, then immediately it goes for auction on the second day. It goes for an auction, and then whatever is the prevailing rate in the market based on which I'll be charged, my account will be charged. I'll be charged based on those rates actually. So here by trading in derivatives, I actually, what do I do? Instead of buying first, I actually sell first and then buy later. Now here shorting is available. I can actually go ahead and create a contract with a short position. Now, what do I do? In stock market, I only have one day. If I'm shorting, I have to square it off. If I don't have a substantial number of shares, I have to square it off before 320. Whereas in a derivatives market, I can carry till the expiry of the contract. I get the full time, full month, or whatever is the full time I get. Suppose let's take an example of SBI shares. Today, I create a short position at 181 rupees 40 paise, and on the expiry day, the price is 178.90 paise. I actually gain. I multiply it by lot size and I actually make a gain of about 7,500 rupees. So not only you make advantage of a rising market, you also can benefit from a sliding market too in derivatives. That is the second benefit of staying in the derivatives market. What's the third benefit of trading in derivatives? First, let me tell you the cost of trading. The cost of trading is less. There is less brokerage and taxes applicable. Yeah, in futures and options. Now, what happens in a cash market? When I buy, let's say I have to buy 3,000 shares of SBI, there is a huge brokerage, 0.5, 0.4, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, whatever is the brokerage that is charged. There is a huge amount of brokerage which you end up paying. Example, if the cost is going to be around 1,000 rupees in equity markets, when I look at a contract, it usually costs about 200 to 300 rupees. And there are some brokers who actually charge you fixed charges like 20 rupees or 30 rupees or 50 rupees per contract. Today, even you can do derivatives trading at a fixed cost, and even the taxes applicable much less. This is the third benefit. Not only there is a leverage which gives you exposure to multiple times of your investment, but also there is a reduction in the cost of trading in terms of brokerage. You pay less. That's the third benefit of trading in derivatives. Now, understanding, let's try and understand with the perspective. Now, what do I mean by the first benefit of leverage? What do I mean by it? I just need about 20 to 50% of the margin. Here I know that if I have to trade in SBI, I need about 5,40,000 rupees. And if I have to carry this position until the expiry of the, or I have to carry it beyond the day. If I have to carry this position beyond first day, then obviously I need about 1,95,000 rupees as margin. And if my view, whatever view I'm taking, if it's going to happen before the closure of the day, then I can as well put an MIS order, which is an intraday order, which only costs about 55,000 rupees. Now, here is, this is where you're exposed. You are getting an exposure 10 times your capital. 10 times your capital. In what sense I would like to tell you, you actually, what happens, the value you get, the gains you can get with 3,000 shares, now it gets multiplied by 30,000 shares. That's the benefit. You are actually, for the same value, you're getting exposure to 30,000 shares. That's the benefit I would like to highlight here. Next, now, is leverage a positive, or it can be negative also? Yes, definitely. Now, if my chances of making money increases, my chances of losing money is also enhanced. It's a high risk. Basically, it's a very high risk. What happens if there is a fall? Let us say, the stock currently trading at 181 rupees 40 paise has a 10% fall to 163.20 paise. There is a bad day, and then there is a crash in the market. It crashes by 10%. Now, what is my loss? My loss is 18 rupees 20 paise, which if I multiply, my entire 54,600 rupees is wiped out from my margin money. Now, when I look at, as a business owner, when I look at ROI, return on my investment, if my initial margin is about 2 lakhs or 2,20,000 rupees, if I have paid, and if I have a loss of 55,000 rupees, it's a 25% loss on my portfolio. If this happens on an intraday basis, if I paid about 55,000-60,000 rupees margin, my entire margin is wiped out. 100% loss on my investment. So the exponential growth is not only on the positive side, the exponential loss is also there on the negative side too. So leverage, definitely leverage, watch your step. here, this is what I would like to highlight. Watch your step. Where are you putting your next step? Watch out. If you want to trade in derivatives, this is the biggest risk. Now, I just want to summarize very quickly what we have been talking about. First, there are basically about 140 stocks which are available in derivatives. Yeah, 140 stocks which is available, whether you can buy or whether you can sell. Whether you can buy or you can sell. And in index, we have Nifty and Bank Nifty. These two indices, are available for trading. And then at any given point of time, there are three contracts. That is far month, near month, and the current month. Yeah, the far month, that is the last, the third contract, near month, which is second, and the current month, which is number one. And then last Thursday of the month, monthly contract expires. Every Thursday, weekly contract expires. These weekly contracts are in respect to Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. And stocks have only monthly expiry. The stocks have only monthly expiry. Only the index has weekly expiry. Okay, now the margin has three components which we understood. Margin has three components, that is initial margin, which is also known as the span margin, mark to market margin, and then there is a daily settlement of debit or credit. Brokers will square off your position in case there is a shortfall in the margin. Now, what is the advantage we spoke about? I can actually sell first. Shorting is allowed. Yeah. And actually, I feel the markets are overpriced. I can sell it high and buy at a lower price. Just like, I buy at whatever price, and I in expecting that the marketing will move up, and then, I'll be able to sell when the prices move up. Similarly, we can also do a short selling. So you buy first, that's long. I think a lot of us actually are comfortable doing this trades, long trades, buy, hold, sell, right? Shorting is something we have to learn, we have to master. Shorting is not an easy. Shorting is not even accepted well in our mind. We have to learn, we have to understand the risk, and then only we have to participate there. So there is always a buy first, sell later. There is a hedging opportunity. Derivatives gives you an opportunity to hedge. What do I mean by hedge? Suppose I have the similar quantity available in my equity portfolio, and then I can actually hedge it in derivatives. Yeah, what is hedging? Hedging is basically you can actually sell in cash market if you have those stocks, and you can actually buy back in futures. And stocks only have monthly expiry. Hedging is very simple. You sell in cash market and then you buy back in futures. So when you're not sure that whatever position you have taken in cash market is not sure, you are hedging it in derivatives until you reach the comfortable level, until you reach comfortable, and then square it off. So then we also understood about the lot size. Each stock has different lot size, and they trade in lots. First of all, you can buy multiple lots. You can buy multiple lots, and then there is a contract value. We have to arrive at the contract value. We have to know the contract value to understand the margins. So these were some of the concepts we were talking about futures market.